Yes. What's going on, man? Let's take this down. Always remember, whatever you think about comes about. Whatever you focus on grows. It expands. Let's turn off these comments. We don't need comments. Hit the like button if you're on YouTube. Helps me out. Sunday's not about any particular ticker symbol or any particular stock. That's not what it's about. It's about the good news of the money flow, of trying to bring order to chaos and what is perceived to be chaos of price movement. So if you're new to the stock market, at times you're going to be like, wow, this doesn't make sense. Yeah, no shit. If you could just think it through and shit just made sense from thinking, everyone's smarter than you'd be rich. And they're not. So you can't think your way through the stock market. Now, you're going to try to because you can't help it because you're 30 and think you're smart. That's what people do. And they repeat the same mistakes of their forefathers. And it's the same mistakes over and over and over. And wisdom is the ability. So you're wise when you can just learn. Meaning you don't need to make that mistake yourself. You saw somebody else do it. So that makes you wise. Wisdom isn't about intellect, nor is it about age. So you can choose to be wise, or you can choose not to be. You can read 1 million books on personal power. Shit, you could go live at Tony Robbins' house or hang out with Grant Cardone for a month. You could go to 100,000 Make More Money seminars, buy 50 fucking courses, do all that stuff. You could even hire me as your life coach. But without a life philosophy that in fact invites wealth to you, and a philosophy that supports the idea that you are even allowed to be wealthy, not much will change. Because it's not about the act of doing that makes you rich. That's not what it's about. The definition of success, if you've ever watched any of my older videos, is to be, then do. That confuses people. I mean, you have to first be it, then you go execute. Not execute and you become, which is the traditional formula that most people use. This is Campbell's. Ticker's irrelevant, but it's breaking out right now. And if all of your stocks are down right now, well, let me give you a little wisdom. Now you have to take out a pen. If you have an ear to hear, and you should own different kinds of stocks in different sectors that do different things. Okay? Campbell's Soup is a really, really boring stock. Barely moves. But it pays a dividend, and today it's about $5 higher than it was 3 months ago. It moves up and it moves down, and that's what markets do. This is not a stock that you buy if you're trying to chase big gains, so the chances of you being in this are probably pretty slim. It's one of my buy and hold stocks. And all I do here is look to store wealth. I'm just storing money in an asset that produces cash flow. And it goes up, and it goes down, and it goes up, and it goes down. And I'm looking to accumulate when it's down, right? Right? And looking to trim when it's up. Now, what does it mean to get a trim? Like trimming your hair. Don't make it complicated. And then if it stops and starts to break out, then I have an option. I could add more if I wanted, but I don't have to. Watching the money flow doesn't necessarily mean you have to take action. It just is what it is. And just because the stock drops doesn't mean you have to buy it. It just is what it is. And it's your relationship. But more important, it's your philosophy. Without a life philosophy, meaning when you approach this stock market, if you haven't heard, I have a philosophy. Let me say that again. It's a philosophy, not a trading system. Now I call it that so that the simple minds can understand what I'm doing. Let me pause this. Hold on. I have to, for the simpletons, I have to dumb it down sometimes. But the money flow isn't about right or wrong or what direction stocks are going. One day you'll give up on that. Right now you're 30 and think you're smart. So you're going to have to stay with that. But one day you're going to become wise and you're going to realize nobody knows. Nobody knows. So once you know that and you say it out loud, you set yourself free. So I live under this philosophy that nobody fucking knows. Not me, not Chris Johnson, not Ashton, not Manny, not any influencer you follow. They have no fucking clue at all. Neither do I. Not my friend the professor. Nobody, especially not you, do not know where the stock market's going. You could guess. You got a 1 in 30 chance of being right, up, down, or sideways. That's it. So that freed me from a lot of problems and pressures. And I know that stocks come in and out of favor. And I know that at times certain stocks in certain sectors get hot and at other times some don't. And we have to distinguish between a sector rotation and what is a meme, is the new term. We used to call them different things, but now they call them memes. Is this a legitimate thing or is this a meme? Sometimes memes become legitimate things. Bitcoin started as like a meme. And then eventually it became a legitimate asset class. That happens, okay? And we have to ask ourselves, is this one of the big 11? You know there's 11 sectors of the S&P 500. If you did not know that, you are such a baby at this, like you're just getting going, okay? You need to know there are 11 sectors of the S&P 500. You should know what all 11 of those are, or you're not even fucking trying, okay? Like you're so far behind. So these are the basics. You have to know that. You should know what those 11 are. You should know what the top 5 or 10 stocks in each of those sectors are, okay? With consumer staples and finance and industrial, right? Like you need to know these things. Discretionary. What does that mean? What does that mean? So what I'm talking about there isn't a trading strategy. It's so much wisdom. Understanding the flow of the market. Markets flow in, markets flow out. And that's money flowing in and money flowing out. Sometimes people say, hey, why did this stock drop? Doesn't matter. They sold it. That's why it dropped. Duh. Why do you think a stock comes down? People sold it. Now you may think, well, why? Okay, if they tell you why, what does that do? Does that change your opinion? No, it's of no value, knowing why. And yet we seek, because we think intellectually we can make sense of price movement, but you can't. Prices move irrational. This is why the stock market's so hard. It doesn't make sense. It's also fractal. The money flow is fractal. If you were to break down the components of the money flow, if we're over here, right? And this is the basic price movement. This is the basic price movement. This is the basic price movement of the stages. One of the fundamental beliefs that I believe is that over time prices move higher. About 70%. That number is arbitrary. Maybe it's 65. Maybe it's, from time to time it could be more. But the stock market goes up as much as 71% of the time. The problem is it's not a straight line. Prices can only do one of three things: move up, move down, or move sideways. I believe prices do this in 4 stages. And by identifying the stage, we can better allocate our buys or take advantage of sell-off, stage 4 declines, and maximize price increases to take profits into stage 3s. Being a buyer here and a buyer here and a seller here is what that means. Now, a lot of you are obsessed with the short term, that somehow you're going to move in and out and in and out and in and out. not. Some of my best friends are obsessed with that. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that attempt. And if that's what you're into, then do it. But it's going to take a real dedication on your part to never miss. So you have to ask yourself, are you that disciplined? Are you that person? You never miss ab day. You never fuck up your diet. You're always there, always ready. Because that's what the market demands as you begin to shorten the window. The smartest people in the world wake up with computers, with fucking billions of dollars to steal your money. You're just going to half-ass roll out of bed, sort of pay attention with your cheap-ass free charts and extract money from this. Get out of here, man. You'll be eaten. You'll be eaten by sharks. So your advantage being a retail trader, in my opinion, other people will disagree, and we can still be friends, by the way. Other people may disagree, but we can still be friends, by the way. Some people stop being my friend because I won't go short. Think on that. Oh, I don't want to hang out with Gerald. He didn't go short. Think on that. What kind of human does that? What kind of person judges them based on whether I can talk to a person or hang out with a person based on the way they... Okay, I'm getting off on the tangent. It's supposed to be in church. A lot of personal attacks, man. A lot of people's, if the market's not going up, they lose interest. Let me say again. If the market's not going up, instead of getting more excited and more interested, they become less excited and less interested. Why? They're not destined to do this. It's just a matter of time before they blow out and move on to something else. Okay? When the market's going up, a lot of your friends are interested in the market. When the market's going down, a lot of your friends are interested in something else. And watch, when they get hot again, they'll be back. Those people will never prosper in the stock market. And they'll jump to something else. You know, one thing from another, whatever's hot. Don't do that. Just be. Just be. Be a trader. And be it for every fucking day from here on out. For the rest of your life. And sometimes as a trader, you can't put money in. You don't have any. Kids need braces, this and that. Good. Do that. Take care of them. And watch your charts. And when some stocks run up, you trim them and you add to others. And you wait patiently. Not speaking evil over your portfolio or ruining everyone else. Like some people are not ambassadors of opportunity. When they enter the room, it brings negativity. I see it in my own Discord group. They only log in to say bad things or to complain, not to bring opportunity. And they're not ambassadors of opportunity. It's a cry me a river. And when something's down, it's not seen as opportunity because they live in a very short window of time. They haven't traded for 10 years, 20 years, you know. It's been like 9 months. And from that, they abstract. And so they bring with them what? Is that you? Philosophy. Without a life philosophy that in fact invites wealth to you, a philosophy that supports the idea that you are even allowed to be wealthy, not much will change. At the end of the day, people live to prove what their self-image dictates back to them and what they are allowed to have, to be, and to receive. So, as we watch this price... Oh, you didn't know this was about psychology? You thought it was about ticker symbols? You might be on here, sir. You sent me a message yesterday and go, I pretty much understand the money flow. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't understand anything. The fact you even said that to me tells me you don't understand it. You know how stupid that sounds to me when somebody says that to me? I pretty much understand that. You don't understand shit. What do you mean you understand the money flow? You just started. You're like a baby. You don't understand anything. It's like picking up the guitar and 2 weeks later you're like, yeah, I think I got this. No, you don't. You can make noise. That's about it. So one of the basics, because I don't even understand it, man. I'm still receiving it. You think it's about some stupid lines? You think it's about that? A kid could do that, dude. Price above green line buy, price below green line sell. That's not complicated. That's not what, I mean, that's a tiny little bit of what the money flow is about. You know what it's also about? Portfolio diversification, right? It's also about, right, that you might own some Campbell's. You know what it's also about? Time in the market. You go, what do you mean? Like fucking years is what it's about. So if you go look at my buy and hold, you're like, wow, how are you up 400% in this stock? And I said, I've owned it for 13 years. So for 13 years, I've been buying stage ones through all the market ups and the market downs and the crashes. When I first started my Discord almost 2 years ago, people would tell me, can we not do these dividend stocks? I'm like, what do you mean? They suck. Why would anybody own a dividend stock when growth and tech just goes up and up and up and up? Oh, they're not saying that anymore. So then I was buying those. Now those look pretty damn smart, right? And that's going to flip again, is what I'm saying. So soon everyone's going to be on the dividend thing, and that's going to be all the stocks that people want to own, and that shit's going to have the rug pulled out from under it. I promise you that. These dividend stocks aren't going to keep going up. Right now you have Campbell's breaking out. Campbell's Soup is breaking out, and PayPal's being destroyed. Campbell's Soup. So when people say, yeah, but interest rates and growth, none of that is why, dude. You think Campbell's Soup has growth? You think Campbell's Soup isn't hurt by interest rates? You think Campbell's Soup doesn't have supply chain issues? This is not why it's going up. It's going up because they've just decided to change sectors. Okay? They have all the same fucking problems Uber has. They have all the same problems Facebook has. They got tech here. They got all kinds of supply chain. They got all the same problems. Okay? Campbell's Soup is not immune to that. And yet, Palantir's getting smashed and Campbell's is going up. Explain that. And they said, well, Palantir's going down because it only grew at 30%. Well, this only grew at 2%. And it's going up. Does that make sense? No, market doesn't make sense, man. So when we look at stage 2 breakouts, which is, if you were to look at this pattern here, it's price making above basically, it's price moving above the 20-day moving average. Boom. That's not complicated, right? It's really easy. It's just a little green line calculated for you. You don't even have to calculate it. Look at all that math that's done for you. There's the green line. Every day it's plotted on there. Now you take it for granted, but in the past they used to hand calculate these and draw it with a fucking protractor onto a chart. Think of that. John Adams, Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, which was instituted on July 4th, 1776. That was the singular governing theme and philosophy that gave rise to America as a free nation. And not until that governing philosophy was born was America a free nation. In other words, it started with a philosophy. The money flow is a philosophy that price moves in 4 stages. It's not about prediction. It's just, it is. Price moves sideways, price runs up, price then moves sideways, and price runs down. And then it repeats that over and over and over and over and over and over for the rest of your life. You'll see price running sideways, moving up, running sideways, and then moving down. The thing we don't know is how far the ups and downs. Now, the moving averages and whatnot give us, try to help us. They're just one part, but they try to help us determine the stage, from visually looking at it. And what you're going to see is some charts, some stocks aren't as easy to see. They're not as clear, right? You can get a little funky. And that's just part of it. And that's what we call gray areas. But you'll see, even inside of what we call gray areas, you're going to see that when the money flow gets out of whack, it starts to move. You'll start to see the pattern just shortens is what happens. Up and then down, right? You see it shortening? Still up and it's still over and it's still down. It just starts to shorten. So you can get money flow patterns within money flow patterns. And even this is a money flow pattern, right? And it went to breakout, and then what happened? Couldn't hold it. And then what? Down it comes. So again, sideways, up, sideways, down. And it's tough, right? You can see it here. There's your box, and then what? Down it went to the next box. Now this is in an index. So indexes are a little harder usually than certain stocks. Some stocks will do the pattern, just picture perfect, right? And when that happens, obviously that's where you got to maximize. Let's pull up this one. Now look at this. Look at this picture of. Now if you're looking at this, now remember, that's my pattern, right? Just a general big picture pattern. And as we dig down into a stage one, if you look closer, notice, look, price goes above the line, below the line, above the line, below the line, above the line, below the line. That line represents the 20-day moving average. Now here it shows it as straight, and we see price going a little above it, low below it, low above it, low below it, low above it, low below it, low above it, low below it, as it moves higher, and then eventually stops. These corners right here, I call anchor points. And what is that? And I'm going to show you what that looks like on a chart. It's important you understand these ziggly lines here. That is price. Price can temporarily go below the 20, back above the 20, and it's still in a stage two, okay? So you can't say, I understand the money flow because price is above a green line. That's like the most, you don't understand it, sir. It's going to take you a long fucking time to understand it. So that right there, we're looking for these corners all the time. Now, this is Money Flow 2.0, meaning every day I'm looking for an anchor point, okay? What is an anchor point? Anchor point is the highest high and the lowest low. Now, we can backdate them really easy. Right there, right? You might could call that one, right? We can backdate these really easy. And you should. So when I come to a chart, I immediately start doing that. Now, there's a difference between an anchor point and a pivot point. Pivot points on a chart are just little points where the price stopped dropping and then turned. Pivot, pivot. And you say, what do you mean? Pivot. If you had a ball and you ran, and then all of a sudden what? You pivot. You turn and you went the other way, and then what? You pivot. You turn, you went the other way, and then what? Pivot. And you can see how these pivots can become fairly tight, right? You don't even have to draw the circle, but these are pivots. Now, pivots help you draw market structure. I didn't lose you, did I? Any of the slow kids in the back, you guys still listening? Now, sir, that understands the money flow, are you on all this? You understand all this? So, there's a pivot. As we connect pivots, what happens? As you connect them, what happens? You start to create these boxes. Well, these boxes, that's a breakout of the pivot. That's called a kangaroo tail, but we'll talk about that in a minute. These boxes help you then determine stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, right? So we're always trying to figure this out as we stare and as we look at the charts. So every day I'm trying to figure out, let's clean this up. Where am I at? So we can walk up to this chart right here, and we can see where's the previous low. And I mean the lowest low, right there. Where's the highest high? Now right here. Now I'm just going to say something, and you just pretend like you understand it until later. That's actually the box, right? We can now in the past we can make it look cleaner. In the moment, you can't always do that. That breakout of the box and coming right back into the box is very bearish, by the way. That's a reversal sign. You'll see the exact same thing down here. Notice the box. Now, remember you said you understood the money flow? So I'm sure you understand this since you understand it. You've mastered it without even reading the fucking book. I don't know how that could be, but price broke out of the box and then back in the box. Super bearish reversal sign, price is going lower. Notice this. You had a box starting to be built. Price broke it, came back into it. Very bullish for price going higher. Not 100%, but tends to be. We call these kangaroo tails. I'm sure you knew that since you understand the money flow. Those are anchor points. Now, most anchor points aren't kangaroo tails, but these are anchor points. These are the lowest low and the highest high. As I draw those, what am I doing? I'm starting to build out the stages. Now, as an investor, do you want to buy stage 3 or stage 1? Stage 1, right? So as an investor, I would rather own here than up here. Not own, but buy, right? So you can see how this begins to help us. Now, what if we combine this with fundamental analysis, cash, learning to read? If you want to get all into balance sheets and all that, you could. I don't see a reason to, but you could. Now, remember I said price has memory. One of the other, besides price going up, we talked about in the beginning, remember, philosophy. But without a life philosophy that in fact invites wealth to you, and a philosophy that supports the idea that you are even allowed to be wealthy, not much will change. So what is the philosophy of the money flow? I give it 9 months. If it's not working, I move on. No, that's not the philosophy of the money flow. The money flow is every day for the rest of your life. Did you know that? That if you stay with it every day, you're going to be very wealthy. Just backtrack it. Go look. Pull up 10 years and say, let me test Gerald. If my dad did what he said for the last 20 years, where would we be? Go do it. Go ask your dad, hey, Dad, why didn't you buy some Coca-Cola on every stage 1? Imagine if you'd have been doing that the last 20 years. G says you'd have been rich. And obviously you would be, because I can see the chart in the past. And then ask yourself, why won't you do it going forward? Or will you? So if you've ever heard me or my voice, I told you what to do. You know. Now your choice is to do it or go fuck it up doing something else. And that's what a lot of people, this is not making money, guys. This is not having a job. That's not what I'm talking about here. That's not what this is. This is about building wealth, man. Right? Now, we can take it down to a lower level and trade it, but that's not what Sundays are about. Sundays, I'm trying to teach you the overarching philosophy of the money flow. Thank you. What you fail to get and who you fail to become is only because of who you decided not to be. See, our parents didn't know. They didn't know any better. It's not your dad's fault. He didn't know. His dad didn't know, and their dad didn't know. Nobody in their house looked at them and go, we could be wealthy too. Nobody said that. They said that's not for people like us. They said it's complicated. It's hard to understand the stock market. See, they actually spoke poverty over themselves. Oh, the way you get by is you work real hard. Really? Because the richest people I know don't work that hard. Now, I'm all for hard work, especially in the beginning, but most of my wealth isn't, I laid the seeds with hard work, but most of it came pretty easy. The beach house I just bought, I flipped a house that I bought 16 years ago. It wasn't hard work, guys. It was then, but the sale was no hard work at all. I just posted it, listed it, they gave me the money. That wasn't that hard. Campbell's is breaking out. What does that tell you about the market if Campbell's is breaking out? What else is breaking out? Where are the utilities? Are any of them breaking out? Not yet. Now, this is Southern. Southern is a very popular stock, right? A very popular dividend stock. I own about $30,000 of Southern. Now, let me show you something about Southern. Price has memory, meaning where it's been before, it tends to stop again. Now, watch this, guys. Is it 100%? Absolutely not. Doesn't need to be. These are just guides. But notice this little pattern you see on Southern. Isn't this amazing? And you see how it flows sideways and then up and then sideways and then down and then sideways and then up and then sideways and then down. Can you see how a guy might have $30,000 of this? And I was just a simple little man. I come from a very simple little town. I didn't even go to college. I don't know anything about Wall Street. I didn't work on Wall Street. I don't have a finance degree. None of that shit. I'm just a guy that developed a philosophy that said I'm allowed to be rich. That I can do what rich people do because the game is fractal, meaning Warren Buffett could buy 1 million shares and I buy 2. The difference is I have time. And so I just trug along in my life accumulating stage 2s in Southern Electric, and fast forward 10 years, I got 30, 40 grand on top of 40, 50 other stocks. And you say, Gerald, I don't understand. I say, listen, whenever I buy stage 1s when the price is low, right? And then I try to get a little more than I want to have. This is my secret to my buy and hold account. I want a little more than I want to have. And you say, why do you do that? So when it runs up here and I see the RSI, Relative Strength Index, remember, we like to find our anchor points, the lowest low after it goes extreme, and then we're looking for our anchor points of the highest high after it goes high. And then I'm watching these boxes, right, all around the idea of this pattern, so that when Southern goes up into this stage 3, I own a few more shares than I want to own. I do what's called the trim, and I trim a little. In other words, I take a little profits. I move around the position. I use my trading skills inside of my buy and hold. And here's the thing, I don't have to be right, man. What if it keeps going? Good. What if it drops? Good. It's a win-win. So when it went from here to here, I made a gain, right? So I trim a little, and what do I do with that? I add it to something. I add it to another buy and hold that's the opposite direction, that's on sale, right? You get what I'm saying there? And so I developed this philosophy. I don't necessarily need new money going in. You say, well, I ain't got no money to put in. Good. You got trading skills. You got the patience is a skill, guys. Look at Cisco. So we see Southern Electric going down, right? So if you're looking at the money flow, here, watch this. Where price has been before, it tends to stop again. So resistance becomes support. My God, dude. Could this get any fucking... This chart here is, man. Look at that. What? And there's support, right? And then stock bounced down. Bounced down. Bounced. And now what? Broke through. Where's the target? Previous high, right? Or what? RSI extreme. Right? So when that moment that happens, I know what's coming next. I assume it's going to go higher, and then what? Then it's going to stop. And you're going to get an anchor point right there. And what? Price goes sideways. And that's fully what we expect. Now what? Price is going down. Would I buy this? Knowing what I know, knowing what Gerald knows, knowing what I've shown you. I've spent fucking thousands of hours. I have hundreds and hundreds of podcasts, thousands of videos telling people, don't buy this. And yet they do. They do. Friends, people that know me. Blows my mind. They can't help it. Now look where it stopped. Right where resistance was. Resistance becomes support. This is a basic fundamental principle of chart reading among all people, all strategies of all races, colors, creeds, and countries. This is universally accepted. That's why it works. We all agree on it. It's a social agreement. All these charts are social agreements, guys. There's no magic to it. Oh, that's a head and shoulders and a descending triangle. None of that means shit. None of that means anything. It's just a social agreement. We decided it means something. I don't mean that the people who believe it don't mean that. I'm just saying we decided that, man. We decided that. Look where it stopped, though. Now, do we know for a fact it's going to stay there? Nope. But as we watch the money flow, guess what? I can develop rules. So I'm looking for this pivot point. Remember I told you, or anchor point, excuse me, not a pivot point. Now, you remember my friend says he knows all about the money flow. He's not sure if he should get the book or not. Okay, guy. So There's our anchor point. I need 4 days to confirm that. I need 4 bars. You can include the pivot bar or the anchor bar if you want. But I need 4 of these. Now, there's a process where you can borrow a bar, but every time I do this, it confuses people. So I've tried to simplify the money flow. Simplify. But that's 1 day. And now what? We need price to go sideways. What's that going to do? That's going to build a stage of accumulation. Stage 1, accumulation. What does that mean? For every buyer, there's a seller to the point where they hit an equilibrium where, it doesn't go any lower. It holds support. As soon as it hits support, buyers step in. Why? Fuck, I don't know. I don't know why anybody does anything. This is the collective intelligence. This is the collective emotional intelligence of millions of people all over the world who get up every day to look at these charts. There were 9,100,000 shares that changed hands on this stock on Friday, and it didn't go anywhere. Look at the close. Exactly where it opened. 9 million shares changed hands. Look at that. And it closed where it opened. Now, why were there sellers? I don't know. Who cares? Why were there buyers? Don't know. Don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm sure they all have a story. I'm sure the guy that sold it has a legitimate reason. He could explain it to you and you go, well, yeah, that makes sense. And the guy that bought it could explain it to you. And you'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. That's the problem with news. ARK is selling Palantir. Okay. Ian? You can't be so fucking weak, dude, that is the reason you're buying and selling stock, because one fund or one person, as much respect as I have for that one fund or one person, they don't decide when I buy or sell a stock. If you're doing that, your fucking brain is weak, and you need to get your shit together and fix it, like right now. Like Monday should not come where you could be that easily routed. Okay? Our biggest return, my Delta, I'm up a lot of money in Delta. And I bought it from Warren Buffett. He was the guy selling it. He blew out. He's way smarter than me. You get it? People sell for lots of reasons, and it isn't always the right thing. They don't know. She doesn't know. So keep that in mind. You got to get to where you control your mind, man. Other people selling things don't necessarily route. I'm not talking about a trade group or this and that. If you're in a group, that's a program where you're trading together. That's different. You don't have insight. Kathy's not sending you a text message saying, hey, Gary, this is like, you don't know why. They're not explaining why something's happening. Notice this box here, right? Support is what? Previous resistance. Now, is that stuff scientific? No, that stuff is just, it's art. Chart reading is art. But this pattern plays out. You see it? Come on, man. Do you see what I just showed you there? Look. You see it? So beautiful. That turns chaos into order. Because now when a stock goes down, you're like, yeah, it's called a stage 4. They all do it. It's okay. It's normal. So a stock going down is normal. It's supposed to. Even good ones. This is the times that I get sad. For humans. Us as a species. You remember when Google... Remember their 5-for-1 split? And I was like, are you out of your fucking mind? You do not buy a stock because of a stock split. Now, as much as I tell people that, nobody listens. So I don't know why I bother. But the main reason I was telling people you do not buy Google here. Man, it made me sad, dude. People that followed me. And I'm like, you're not listening to shit I say. You don't read the book. You haven't read the course. The fact that you would even ask me this question tells me that. So this stock went from, look at this, Way down here, there's your buy signal. That's a stage 1. So down here, you'd say, hey, Gerald, should I buy this stock? Yeah, it's a stage 1, bro. If you buy all the stage 1s in Google for the rest of your life, I bet you have a lot of money in 10 years. That works. I don't care what anybody else is teaching you. If you buy stage 1s in quality companies and you do it consistently, or regardless of what the market's doing, and you do it for a long period of time, you will have money. Promise you. Now, the reality of you doing that is slim to fucking none, because very few people have the ability. The average hold of a stock is 3.2 years, according to Vanguard. This is why, guys, this is why only 7% of the population owns the planet. Because the other 93% sell it every chance they get. They can't hold on to things. They sell all the valuable things to buy cheap trinkets from Target and Walmart and cars that go to zero. Their life is filled with assets that literally go to zero. Food, clothing, everything around them goes to zero. And if you notice, rich people, as a general philosophy, will buy, say, a $300,000 painting. And us as normal poor people will go, well, that's just stupid. Okay, but guess what? In 5 years, that painting's worth $500,000. Right? Like the reason they're doing that is they have so much money, they have to store it in things. And they don't want to put it all into one thing. So they have to spread it around. Cars, land, buildings, businesses, stocks, Airbnbs, watches, right? That they have to. They have to spread it around. Why? Remember what I said? They're not putting it all in tech stocks, guys. The richest people in the world aren't sitting around with just all tech stocks. They're not. They're diversified. They're diversified, man. So, let me see here. Pivot point. You would never, ever, ever. Everybody had asked me this. I'm really disappointed about buying Google right here at a previous high, which is a sell signal for the money flow, right? There's stage 2 breakout. Where's the target? Previous high. So, everyone that asked me that, I was deeply saddened. Now, the money flow faithful would not have asked me that. They know that's a sell signal. And then what now? Now, is there validity, the fact that if a stock does it? Sure. Yes, people will buy it because in their mind, the perception is the price is cheaper. Okay, here's your 4 quarters for $1. Where's this going to go? Probably back down to where it was. Will it be a good buy then? Yeah, then I'll be like, yeah, I like Google. I like Google when I get 4 days sideways and the price breaks above the 5. I like it. This is stage 4 decline. Do you get how we analyze that? Do you see how understanding the money flow just saved me from doing something stupid like buying Google up here because of a 5-for-1 stock? Those are gimmicks, man. IPOs, stock splits, those are gimmicks. Those are gimmicks. And yes, when the market is going up, they work well. When the market is going down, you can't gimmick it. Okay? We'll see. Pet peeve of mine. Look at Cisco. Let's turn on comments here. Thank you for the badge there, stars and bars. Have we talked before? I don't recognize your name, man. On this here with Cisco, I hope you see the pattern. What stage do we think it's in? So amazing. Now remember, we got to use all of this to help bring things together. Where's our highest high? Where's our lowest low? Right? We come over here, same thing. There's your anchor point. There's your stage 1 where price moved above the 5-day moving average. Right? And then it ran up. Right? RSI went extreme. Right? Then what? Came down, tried to make a run, push back up. Now, these are tricky, where it sells off and then pushes back up. Yes, that's price trying to break out. I would not add to these, and very often I won't even swing trade them because there's the previous high. It's not that far. And this is how you get double tops, head and shoulder, all that kind of shit, right? But that's just not that far to for a swing trade for me. So I would have made my money, if I was swinging it from down here. As soon as we start hitting the RSIs, I'm out, man. The moment it starts to roll over, you got to get out of a swing trade if you're swing trading. That's why if you follow my boot camp yesterday, I was saying time clarity. And if you're not clear on your time clarity, you're going to fuck this up. So if you're investing, you don't need to look at a 5-minute chart. It's absurd, right? If you're swing trading, maybe you're using a 1 hour chart at the lowest. There's no reason to go lower than that. None at all. You're just going to confuse yourself, right? All right. Now I got to turn off commenting. I turn on commenting, and then all of a sudden, I don't know how they know I turned on commenting. Look, the moment I turned off commenting, the number of people on Instagram started dropping. How bizarre. How bizarre. Robots in church. What do they think of next? What's up, being a post? Jimmy, never come to church and give me a ticker symbol. Never. It's not about you, sir. Sunday's not about tickers. It's about sharing the philosophy of the money flow. You're probably new to me, so I'm not going to hate you for it, but next Sunday I will. Stage 2 breakout, right? Look at Cisco breaking out. You should own some Cisco. So we've been talking about this in our buy and hold. So I hope whoever you're trading with, you guys have buy and holds. You need buy and holds. It's super, super important. Buy and hold are what are going to get you through. If you're just trading, it will not be long before you lose all your money, okay? And you say, what do you mean? You can't trade? Of course you can trade. In my experience, the people that are the best traders are the people who all, they have buy and hold accounts. Their understanding of the market begins to expand. Adding to HBI, right? Adding to HBI, what is that? Haynes Brands. What a boring stock. The last time I posted that, a guy says, nobody wears that anymore. And I said, let me let you in on something. Single moms ain't buying their kids fucking Chanel underwear, sir. Right? There's also the entire world, man. You think they're buying Louis Vuitton underwear in India? No. Right? These countries are global, man. So McDonald's, a large portion of their sales come outside of America, right? Same with cigarette companies, same with Coca-Cola, same with Pepsi. These are multinational industries. So yes, no. Just because we don't buy something doesn't mean, they're not. Haynes Brands makes billions of dollars every year, pays out a nice dividend. It's what I've been accumulating. Why? Because it's not popular right now. And then when it is, and it's going to run, because I'm going to end up with way more shares than I want, and when it runs, I'm going to do what I told you. I'm going to trim into that stage 3, and I'm going to use that money to add to a new position. Oh, Gerald. Let's see. Ooh, that's an ugly chart, huh? That chart has gotten really weird. I haven't added to Haynes Brands in a minute because it got really weird. So what this will allow you to do, if you will use it correctly, most people do not. They really think the game is constantly turning their money. I'm telling you, yes, you want an account that you're turning the money. You can scratch that itch. If you do well at it, great. I'm happy for you. You made some money. What I'm going to express to you as a guy who's traded along, and I've had some great years trading where I made $50,000, $100,000. Great. And what do? Pull it out and go buy a house. Not all of it, but a lot of it. About 4 months ago, I said I have to get 60 grand. Why? I'm buying a beach house. So I pulled 60 out of the stock market. Lucky timing too. Stocks got smashed, right? The whole reason we're doing these things is to accumulate, to acquire assets. Now, there's a greed factor, though. You're like, oh, well, I just turned my 50 into 100. Now I'm going to try to turn it into 2. And it's like, no, man. Pull out that 50, go buy yourself the painting, the whatever, and go back to doing it again. And that's been my experience. So when stocks get hot, you need to pull money out to do other things because the tide will turn. It always does. This is Lockheed Martin. The stock has done pretty well. Threat of war right now. So people are looking at these. When did you want to buy this? When people are looking at war or when nobody was thinking about it, right? Same concept. So stock gets smashed. There's our anchor point, right? Actually, no, it was right there. And what are we waiting for? I need it several days. So this is a new one added to the buy and hold last year. Now I just took I took some gains in this and it was only a couple shares. But this is an expensive stock. Why? Look where we're at, man. See? Now, why did I trim it? A little more than I wanted right now. What do I do with this money? I'm looking at to deploy it into the utility stocks. You say utility stocks. Yeah. Remember the one I just showed you, like Southern Electric? It's come down. So I'm looking to deploy that money. So I want to take a little bit of these gains, maintaining my core position, but rolling a little bit of that gain into something that I think has more upside than this. And you say, well, how can you know? Well, easy way, tip ranks. There's a bunch of ways. I'm on tip ranks. I'm on Morningstar. You can do your own research too, if that's your thing. They say it's worth $411. All right, well, how far is that from here? It's like 6%, man. So yeah, I want to keep the stock. It's undervalued 6%. But where would I rather buy it? Shit, I'd rather see it sell off, right? So we go sideways, we run up, we go sideways. Now I'm anticipating what? It pulling back. There's only 6% upside here. So chances are it's going to come down. So I want to trim some and then what? Just wait. Maybe it rips. If it rips, it rips. It's going to rip without me. It's going to rip, and I'll go up with it, I guess. It's more than likely come down. As it comes down, it becomes more and more interesting again. Why? Because the price is lower. If a stock becomes less interesting to you, maybe you don't know what you're doing. I have no interest in buying this. It's way too overpriced. What is another one we've been trimming? Exxon. It's way too expensive, guys. So if I look over here and I say, how much is this stock? Anybody buying oil stocks right now is completely out of whack with the flow, man. $84. So they've raised it up a little bit. Yeah. The Bank of America has a 105. Well, let me let you in on something. They're going to keep raising this and raising this and raising this and raising this. And price may continue higher until they're completely wrong and it busts out. And then they're going to revise these down 30, 40 cents. That's how it works in the oil market. Oil market is filled with greed. They'll keep revising this as high as it wants to keep going. Now, would I want to buy it here? No, not really. If we're going to be a buyer, we're buying when price is going sideways, right? So what you're going to look for, you see this little pattern you had right here where price ran up, right? Hit the RSI, and then what? Came down a little, and then what? Started to go sideways. So we would expect to see that over here, and maybe it does. Maybe it comes down in the 74 range, right around in here. You get one day where it dips like you saw here, right? And then it comes back up. Well, that's going to be my signal that if I'm swing trading or something, I'm a buy. As a buy and holder, I'm not buying up here, man. It's not on discount, dude. So if I'm doing long-term investing, I want to buy stocks that have 30, 40, 50% upside, not stocks with 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, swing trading, sure, I'll trade those. Do you see the distinction there? It's hard for people to distinguish between what they're investing or if they're swing trading. That confuses a lot of people. The clearer you get on that, this is why I advocate anybody comes in my group, you have to have a buy and hold account separate from your trading account because your trading account will fuck with your mind. And if you get it wrong, it will bleed over into your buy and hold, and then you'll start managing it wrong. And if you learn to manage your buy and holds correctly, it'll make you a much better trader. Much better trader. Let's see. Everyone I've ever taught that to who don't do it will tell you they should have done that. What's another stock I was trimming? I've been trimming stocks, guys, for profits. Trim Kraft. It hit 70, then pulled back. I was using 2 points here. A previous high. Right? Previous high. And the RSI was 70 when I logged in. It's obviously pulled back a little bit because it pulled back. So I trimmed some. What do they think the upside is on Kraft? Now why? Because I want to buy utilities. 40 bucks. That's 5%. So is a 5% upside here attractive, or is a 15-20% upside down here attractive? See the difference? Now, one, this is a blue cap stock, pays a dividend, trading below the 200 on an extreme RSI. These are, if you buy these for the rest of your life, if all you did was this right here, you just look for that RSI to be extreme, and you waited for price to get above the 5, and you just started nibbling, and you did this all the time, irregardless of where the market was or what some dipshit on YouTube is saying about the coming whatever, you just ignore them and you do that. Go back and look and see what happens. You're very wealthy. It is super simple. It's just not easy. Let's see. And those are not complicated. You can easily find out what are the top 100 dividend stocks. Okay? And just PS, by the way, when you ask someone, hey man, what are your top 5 dividend stocks? It's a stupid question. I'm sorry. It's dumb. You need to back up. You're doing the wrong thing. When you ask that question, you makes me sad. It's a sad question because it means you lack wisdom, and you need to go back a step, man. You need to back up. Let's fix the whole you. And the guy says, well, where would you put $10,000 today? I wouldn't. Fuck, man. Watch me. Every day you see what I do. I'm buying a little of this, buying a little of that. What am I doing? I'm building a portfolio. Do you ever go see me go, I'm putting 50,000 here? I don't do that, man. I'm dripping all the time, building out my positions. I get it. Other traders do that. I don't do that. Every day I wake up, get a little richer. And I say, okay, I have this much money. Where can I allocate it? And I go through my portfolio, 40 or 50 stocks, looking for what? First thing I'm looking for is blue caps under the 200 that are solid companies that I know can pay their dividend, that are trading below 20, 25% undervalued. I would like to put $100 there, please. And if you've got 10, 20 stocks and you got 10 grand, you can disperse that. But that's going to take time. It's not a one-time fucking transaction. It's a lifetime of transactions. And so you're asking the wrong question because you actually don't know what you're asking. Because you've allowed a bunch of bullshit in your head to think that things are one-time transactions. It's not. It's like, who are the person you're going to be? You don't need to know what stock to buy. You need a philosophy of wealth. You don't need to know a single stock. You don't need a ticker or what is the best this or the best that. You need a philosophy that invites wealth to you for the rest of your life. That's what you need. And that's what the president, they should stand up and say that. You're all fucked. We're not helping you. You need to develop a philosophy that attracts wealth to you and your family, period. That's what they need to say. That's how I would run for president. That would be my fucking standing point. I'm not doing shit for you. Nothing. You need to develop a philosophy that invites wealth to you. It sees that as a possibility. Why didn't your parents? Why didn't mine? Why aren't my cousins? My half-brother, why aren't they rich? Why? My neighbors, why? What is the reason? Or the strangers I meet out at bars. I'm at parades of people around me. Yesterday I'm at a parade. Guy next to me, he's a stockbroker. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. So we start talking stocks. I said, how long you been one? He said 20-some years. It was 20-some years. Guess what? He's rich. Why? He bought stocks on sale. He's been doing it his whole life. Really wealthy. He's like, oh yeah, it was easy. Think about that. He was like, it's easy. It's easy. He didn't know anything about the money flow. It was easy. You know what he didn't ask me? What are your 3 favorite dividend stocks? We didn't have that conversation. He don't give a shit what my 3 favorite dividend stocks are. I didn't ask him his. Don't care. We did talk about the market cycle, growth stocks, where do we think interest rates are going, right? Housing prices. We did have those conversations, right? But it wasn't give me 2 stock picks like it's a gambling thing, like it, like life can be simplified like that. Give me a pick. But that's what people want, man. And if you're a marketer, you got to give them what they want. Let's see. But it was an interesting conversation. At the end of the day, people live to prove what their self-image dictates back to them. What their self-image dictates back to them. You know what he said to me? He said, man, getting rich is easy. I say that all the time too. I just laughed. I said, but it's not simple, right? He laughed. Or he said it's simple, it's just not easy. The other way around. He agreed. But he had a self-image of a person that owned stocks. People live to prove their self-image dictated back to them what they are allowed to have, to be, and to receive. Therefore, if you change the rules, if you change your position and order in life, which then changes your world, if you change your self-image, by default, your world changes. What you fail to get and who you fail to become is only because of who you decided not to be. Successful people would never dare to minimize their earning potential by limiting themselves to an income dictated by a job. That was me, man. That was me. I've always, for a long time I worked jobs, man. But I worked a job to get assets that would produce income. Because I knew if I stayed with the job, I was always going to be just there. But if I could get shit making me money outside of the job, then I could earn twice as much. Get it? So once I could make $2 or $3 grand and it has nothing to do with my job, all of a sudden, the possibilities, the things that begin to happen, begin to grow exponentially. This is why it's so, when I try to get people out of debt if you're in debt, you're going to be a shitty trader. If you're in a lot of debt, you're going to be a horrible investor because you're not going to do it with the right mind, the right philosophy. You don't get to compound as fast. You have pulling distractions. On one hand, you're trying to collect dividends, while on the other hand, you're paying out interest. And it doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm not talking about business debt like on real estate. I'm talking about just debt. Get what I'm saying? It changes. It's a philosophy. It's not a trading system. It's a philosophy. Switch. The money flow is a philosophy of life, seeing things. This pattern, look right here. Yeah, it's the pattern, right? But this is only the beginning. Look at this pattern. Stage 1, right? Top, stage 1. This is the pattern, right? And we see this over and over inside the stock market. But that's not going to help you. Right? That's not going to help you. This isn't going to help you if you don't have a philosophy that invites wealth to you, okay? You got to have a bigger philosophy. Oh, man. Oh, man. Let's see. Hold on. missing all you guys. I look at YouTube and I got all these people requesting tickers in church. What the hell is wrong with you, you selfish bastards? Why are you sending me tickers to look at? I'm trying to teach you how to trade for life, and you're so worried about yourself that we got to look at your shit. Maybe we should stop church, period, just to look at you. I'll come to your house, sit at your fucking computer, and we'll do it for you. We'll do this right out of your house just for you. I'm guessing you're new, Mohammed. Fucking Valentine. Yeah, we're going to stop the whole class just to look at your ticker, sir. Let's stop the whole church service just for you. I do that fucking shit every day. 3 times a fucking day some days. 5 days a week. Can I have one day where we actually study? You actually learn something? That you put your mind on some shit other than your own selfish interest? Is that possible? Could we have one day where we do that? God damn, man. Drives me crazy, man. I can't even fucking turn my computer on. Ticker symbol. It's like, fuck. Makes me sick. It has nothing to do. The tickers don't matter, man. They're all the same. All of them are shitty and going down. You know that, right? All growth stocks are going down. Monday, down. They're going down, dude. Fuck, you can just keep putting in fucking growth ticker after fucking ticker. They're still going down. Jesus. They're going down. I don't know if you know this. They're all going down. Down. And it don't matter how many of them you put in the fucking box, they're still going down. And so I'm on here trying to show you the stocks that are going up. And all you want to talk about is stocks going down. What is wrong with you guys? This is going up. And you want to talk about Affirm or Square or PayPal. They're all going down. They're all the same sector, man. They're all the same. They're all the fucking same. Jesus. So what I'm trying to do is to open your mind so you could see the entire stock market for what it is. Sector rotations, the S&P 500, the 11 sectors, and how stocks move. And then I come and then, what do you think about PayPal? Fuck PayPal. That's not what we're here to talk about, man. What are bonds doing right now? I highly doubt anybody in here even knows what a bond is. But if you happen to know what a bond was, which I'm very doubtful that you or anyone in your family even knows what a bond is, or where it came from, or how it originated, or the purpose of it. But if you happen to, where are bonds right now? Where are bonds? Now, let's talk about PayPal. Bonds are breaking out. Now, I own PayPal, and I own Space, and I own all of those. But they're not going up. And no matter how many times we look at them, they're not going up. They're going down, guys. So when they stop and go sideways and do this, you'll know exactly what to do with that stock, right? So let's see. All right. Bonds are breaking out, or they're out of their box right now. Target would be somewhere up in here. Now, I'm long the TMF. Is a triple leveraged bond, TMF. I'm long the TMF. We'll see. A lot of people are short. Could be short covering on the bonds. Campbell's Soup breaking out. Walmart's trying to break out. What do you notice a pattern about these stocks? These are all safety stocks. It's not really breaking out, but it seems to have found a bottom. What was breaking out? I think ED was breaking out on Monday. Yeah, look at ED. That's Consolidated Edison. So we have a lot of stocks breaking out. They're not growth stocks, okay? Growth stocks are in the shitter, man. You bought a stage 4 and don't know why. That's called, well, at least you're confessing, sir. You come to church and confess and say, man, why did I do that? I've done it many a times. That's how this developed. Just get it out. Let it out. Say, fuck, I fucked up. It's all right. Don't worry about it. You got people buying PLTR. So let's look at the shitty growth stocks going down. I had people yesterday typed into the thing, they bought this. Apparently never listened to me or too cheap to buy a book. Now they're going to go out with their girlfriend and buy all kinds of dumb shit, but they can't buy my book. So now he bought day one of a stage 4 decline. The stock's probably going much lower. We'll see. We'll see how low it goes. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, it's okay, Muhammad. You were just my example. Yeah, there's no bottom yet on these. Like they've started a new leg down, so we just got to wait and see. And the stocks we see breaking out are, oil stocks are still holding up. They're probably going to come down this week unless unless Russia invades Ukraine. Then they could go higher. They can still come down before going higher. We got stuff like Campbell's breaking out, Cisco. These are just old companies that are doing their thing. Paul, relax. It's part of the game. It's part of my stick, man. Just so you guys know, I don't really get mad. Sometimes I have people who think I really do send me things. Gee, you should relax. Okay, guys, it's part of my thing here. It's all right. I'm not going to relax. Next Sunday, I'm going to be fucking pissed at someone, okay? And then the next Sunday and the next Sunday, I won't be relaxing. I'm very pissed that you guys aren't rich. So I'm not relaxing, ever. What was I going to say? No, so as we shrink our time frame, obviously we're getting more into this idea of trying to time, and I'm not against that at all. That's just usually not where I start the teaching. I think if you start this whole game and your purpose is to buy here, sell here, make money, you will lose all your money. I think that's the wrong place to start. The first place to start is in your own head, because most people are too fucked up in their head to even approach something like this. Right? Your brain is still growing. Like, if you're under 25, your brain is actually still forming. You're not even a fully functioning, growing human. So now you're approaching stocks when your brain hasn't completely finished growing yet. So there's a lot of other things that I think, if you back up, will help you be a short-term trader. Right? No debt, getting your buckets right, having your mindset right, seeing the big picture. How do you trade a short-term window if you can't see the big picture? Like, taking your time on that. This is for your entire life. Once trading starts, it's for your whole life. Every day for the rest of your life, you're going to be looking at whatever indicators you decide to use. These are the only ones I think are important. People will disagree. Even some good friends of mine will disagree. It is what it is. And they'll stay my friends until I make fun of them. Let's see. And so, if you come over here to the newsletter, if you click at the bottom, you can subscribe. I send emails sometimes I don't. Depends on how I'm feeling. And this is a summarization of the money flow, but it's how do we input all of this together to see those 4 stages of price movement. What we're seeing here on Palantir's, if you have my course, Getting Started with Stock Charts, this is a runaway to the downside. And, you had stage 1. These usually come in 3s. I don't think you can count that one, but, we went sideways, then we went down. We went sideways, and now we're going down. We'll probably do one more. They tend to do that. Hey, Curtis. He says DraftKings had a little dip. Would you add more or hold out? You know what I would do, Curtis? I would not ask stupid questions, and I would get my book, and then I would learn. That's what I would do, so that you could do this for the rest of your life. That's what I would do, Curtis. I would not interrupt my service with your selfish-ass question. That's what I would do if I was you, Curtis. That's what I would do. I stop being selfish and just listen and get a pen. I just spent 2 fucking hours explaining to you what to do with DraftKings, and you show up late wanting, hey, guy, look at my stock. Look, just for me. Let's see. But here, let's stop the whole service for my whole class. We'll stop and look at it for you, sir. Okay? Here. So we've stopped the whole thing so we can look at Curtis's stock that's in a fucking free fall now. No, you wouldn't buy here, dude. It's going straight down. This is day one. Day one of this right here. Day one. It just sold off. It's day one of a stage 4 decline. Day one of a stage 4 decline. So you ruin class for a stage, like, no, you would not buy this at all. If you're buying that, dude, like, what is wrong with you? It's day one of a sell-off, man. There's no bottom. You don't know if there's a bottom. Monday will be lower and then lower and then lower and then lower, man. It's going to go lower till it stops. That's how it works. So what you're looking for now is a bottom, right? So let's look at an example of a stock not going down. But what you're looking for as these things, now let's look at Cisco. It's a better chart. Right. So what you're seeing there is right here. It just started, and then it'll go down, and then down, and then down, and then down, and then down. And you want to catch a bottom or an anchor point. And when you get that anchor point, you draw it. So every day, you're drawing your anchor point. So right now, this is my anchor high. Right? There's an anchor high here, right? Anchor high, anchor low here, right? Now, again, we're looking in the past, but we use the past to help plot the future. Price goes sideways, price goes up, price goes sideways, price comes down, price goes sideways. Now what? Price goes up. Where do we think it'll go? Previous high. So my targets are already set. My entry's already set, right? Now, this one is a little wonky. This one got a little wonky because it came back in the box and then immediately broke out. A little wonky there. Let's see. Yeah, don't ask Brittany. Save stupid questions. And if you would read a book, you wouldn't have these questions. So if you studied, there's a holiday on Monday. A lot of people are going to be just as dumb on Tuesday as they were on Monday because they don't read. Just go hang out with their loser boyfriends, fucking spooning, all kind of other stupid things instead of educating yourself. Could be by Monday you could go through my whole fucking course and understand everything we just talked about. Or not, and don't do it and still don't know shit come Monday. That's an option too, or Tuesday. So you have a holiday. You could come through and still not know anything. That's your choice. So that's a choice. It's a beautiful thing about America. You get to choose. You get to choose. You get to choose. And the Money Flow Church isn't about people answering questions. I wish I could turn comments on YouTube off. It's about understanding the money flow. And this is a very good picture of it. And we'll wrap up with this. That's the money flow, guys. Where price stops dropping, right? It drops, stops, goes sideways. Runs up, stops, goes sideways. Drops, stops, goes sideways. That is the money flow. And that's what you're seeing right here. That's what, my 20-something years of trading have led me to believe, that price moves in 4 stages. And that over time, price moves higher and higher and higher. And in the meantime, it can go down. The money flow is fractal. Fractal's a never-ending pattern. Fractals are infinitely complex patterns that are self-similar across different scales. They are created by repeating a simple process over and over in an ongoing feedback loop. Driven by recursion, I doubt anybody here knows what that word means. Fractals are images of dynamic systems, the pictures of chaos. In other words, when you walk outside and it's cloudy, you're like, oh shit, it might rain. That's a fractal pattern. That is a fractal pattern. And what was I was gonna close with this. I wanted to show you something. Oh, lost my train of thought on that. I'll remember later. Anchor points are good to learn. No, you need to get your head out of your ass and learn a lot more than that, Curtis. Seriously. Fuck is wrong with you, dude? Come Tuesday, you need to know more than you know right now. I know that for sure. Don't be spooning, doing a bunch of stupid things. Going to Walmart, buying a bunch of cheap plastic shit. You need to get yourself together, Curtis. Pronto. Immediately. Get rid of all that debt you're sitting on. Stop playing. You're born to be rich and you're just playing. Fucking wasting everyone's time. Wasting the universe time. Wasting your parents' time. Wasting work's time. Get your shit together. What's wrong with you? Now you're wasting our time. Enough. No, I don't know him, Paul, but I know you need to get your shit together too, Paul. All of you do. Stop bullshitting. Come Tuesday, you have a choice. You can be a better person, knowing more, right? With a better philosophy, or you can not. That's up to you. But a life without a philosophy that in fact invites wealth to you, and a personal philosophy that supports the idea that you're even allowed to be wealthy, not much will change in life. I know you got my book, but you need to get your shit together. You may have it, but you don't have it mastered. Come on down. Yeah, come on to New Orleans. Let's do it. It's all right, Paul. I love you, man. I believe in you, bro. I believe in you. I'm not going to do like your mother and tell you it'll be good. You're doing good. You're not doing good. You don't have enough damn money. Nobody on here has enough money. Not one of you. If any of you feel like you're doing good or comfortable, you're out of your damn mind. You're all broke and you don't have enough. And you need to let that sink in. And you are called to be kings and queens and to control your own empire. No more fucking excuses. You have what you have because of what you thought about 3 to 5 years ago. And you're going to have what you're going to have in the next 3 to 5 years based on what you do today and tomorrow. It's not a single transaction. It's a lifetime transaction. Every day making a time decision. Life is a trade, guys. You get to decide. You get the millionaire code is very simple. Time times amount times yield. You get time. So you get today, you get tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. Well, that's called compounding as these times, or bars if we're looking in stocks, right? Each day is a new bar. Well, each day is a new opportunity for you. And you can choose to get richer every day and expand and grow, or you can choose not to. And that is an option too. And your friends around you that are broke is because they chose poverty 3 to 5 years ago. They decided then to be the person they want to be. Talking with a guy yesterday, and I'll end with this because it kind of irked me. He's got a little, maybe he's on here, he got a little 3 or 4-plex. Now he wants to buy another house. But guess what he's realized? Oh, this investing shit's hard. You know how you get 17 houses? You guys think it's because you burred your way through, you borrowed. No, it's not how it is. It's because you worked your ass off and saved up money, man. So he's got one little property. Well, to execute on the next one, he needs to borrow from the first one. You know why? Because he's fucking weak. Because he hasn't saved his money. And so now he has, but he does have. Here's the thing. He's got money saved. And he doesn't want to use it. So he wants to borrow out of the first one to put into the second one. If you owe $1 and have $1, you have zero. So I'm like, no, take your money and buy the next property. Now you have a bunch of properties, a lot of equity, and go back to saving. But that's scary. Yeah, no shit. Welcome to the world of investing. It's scary. Welcome. How are you going to get house 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15? It's scary the whole way. Every transaction is scary. You're not going to comfortably do it fucking riding on other people's. That's not how it works, man. So because of that philosophy, he will drag along slowly, never growing, and stay middle class. Or he can break out of that, right? Take that risk, make that push, and get it going, man. Makes me sad, man. Makes me sad. Makes me sad. I love you guys, man. I appreciate you listening, everybody on Instagram and YouTube. We had 100, man, we had almost 500 people in church at one point today. Good deal, man. If I yelled at you, it's because I love you. I want you to do well, man. I really do. If I can help you, let me know. You know, I got books and courses. They're all very inexpensive, probably cheaper than what you'd spend on flowers for your girlfriend or boyfriend. I don't know what you're into. It's cool with me. I'm not judging. Let's see. Do I suggest paying off first property before buying another? Nope. Don't even think about paying off properties till you have 5 or 6. You got to get doors. Don't worry about paying them off, man. Worry about getting money to buy the next one, then money to buy the next one, and then money to buy the next one. Let the renters pay it off. Then 5 years into that, maybe we could talk about borrowing some equity out of the one property. But no. Push, man. Push. Paul said his mom yells all the time because she loves him. That's funny. Oh, that's funny, man. That's funny. All right, I might go live in a little while on Twitter Spaces. I got some shit in my head I gotta say. So you guys be good. God bless.